Hello everyone and welcome back guys to a brand new video where today we're here back finally returning to our What If F1 Went To series. Of course the last few weeks we've been a little bit busy, F1 22 content, everything like that, you know, the Williams RTG Season 3 is kicked off. We're really starting now to get to the end of the F1 2021 game cycle, but that certainly doesn't mean this series is going anywhere anytime soon. Of course, if you missed out on the last video where we went to Alton Park, it feels like that was a long time ago now. I would definitely recommend going back and check it out. But of course, Formula 1 returns to the Spanish Grand Prix this weekend from Catalonia. I mentioned it in a short I did a couple of days ago. Of course, last year, Formula 1 decided they'd reprofile Turn 10 slightly in a bid to try and improve overtaking. Didn't really help at all. And of course, everyone has always said, why don't they just remove the final chicane? Now, for those of you that don't know, originally the final chicane had to be implemented because the track was no longer FIA Grade 1 suitable. Of course, all Formula 1 tracks have to be FIA Grade 1. However, very recently, the circuit owners have confirmed they are introducing plans to try and make the circuit FIA Grade 1, excluding even, I should say, the final chicane around the lap. So today, we're going to be taking the Mercedes to the Circuit de Catalunya, but we're going to be heading to the historic layout. So it doesn't quite have the weird chicane after Turn 9, but we do run right down towards the end of Turn 10, and yes, no final chicane either. So things are certainly going to get really interesting here today. And I must admit, like I said, it's been a little while since I drove the Mercedes on iRacing as well, so we'll have to wait and see as to how we get on with that. But of course, if you are new around here as well, please do make sure you leave a like and get yourself subscribed to the channel. Of course, if you want to see more sim racing content from me, I'm really trying to get back to consistent uploading over on my second channel. So we've got a few videos there from iRacing and Gran Turismo 7, and maybe, you know, over the next few months we're going to be able to branch out on that channel, as well as I've immediately realised I haven't put enough fuel in the car. Right, well, let's try this again then, here from Spain. Over the next few weeks, obviously, as this is now officially Motorsport month, as I've liked to dub it, we are going to have a chance to do some interesting circuits in this series as well. Of course, Monaco, not on iRacing, but it is the Indy 500 next weekend at the time of recording. So we are going to be taking this Formula 1 car to the old Indy road course. Of course, then we've got the NERB 24 as well. Technically, I kind of half started this series at the Nordschleife, but any excuse to go back there in this car as well, I'm always going to take. And then, of course, Le Mans not long after that. So those are going to be three tracks that we're definitely going to be heading to over the coming weeks in this series. You know, if you aren't already, make sure you get yourself subscribed for those as well, if ever there's any more incentive to do so. Plus, of course, you know, I keep mentioning it in every video, we are trying to hit 50,000 subscribers at the moment, so you can help me get one step closer to that. It would be greatly appreciated as well then. But of course, yeah, the lap up to now, pretty much the same. Of course, this old Turn 10, I think still the one they use for motorbikes, just because, of course, the original layout that we raced on up until last year, if a motorbike comes off there, it's going to get very nasty very quickly. But of course, yeah, Turn 10 has been slightly reprofiled, not to the extreme we have on F1, not the extreme that we have in real life there. And of course, yeah, at the final corner, or even entering the final corner, I should say, that big curb, I think, might probably have to be removed here. But we'll go for sort of one more sort of warming up the tyres, everything like that lap, and then we'll get in towards our first push lap of the session. Been a little while since I've driven Spain on any game, I'll be honest. Not my favourite track in the world, but often my pace has actually been pretty good around this circuit, and I kind of admit, you know, it's not great in modern day Formula 1, but, you know, the new regulation of cars, if they were just a little bit smaller, you know, you could even sort of expect Spain to potentially deliver quite a good race. And especially now, you know, if they can sort of remodel the final couple of corners, you know, cars should still be able to stick pretty close to each other. It's then just a case of trying to get the run, trying to use the DRS to try and slide past the car in front of you back down towards someone there. Got to be apparently quite careful then on the exit of Turn 9. But of course, what we've got to remember now is really the lap does kind of start heading out of Turn 11 here, this next corner. So we need to try and get the battery set up into qualifying mode then. And let's try and go for an attacking lap then here of the Spanish Grand Prix circuit. Are the final two corners going to be flat? The penultimate corner definitely is. Is the final corner? No, I was not brave enough there to go for that, but we did pretty much nail it then. So let's go for an attacking lap here of the Spanish Grand Prix. Of course, the lap time should be a whole lot quicker with these changes, but you have got the longer run down at turn 10 there as we head down to turn 1, braking at about 100 metre wall there. Really want to attack the curbs through 1 and turn 2 there. Turn 3 is still completely flat in a Formula 1 car at the moment, and I think the 2022 cars should be pretty similar there. As heading up the hill, want to brake just before the gantry, try not to snag the inside wheel, and then really let the car run wide on the exit. Get it back over to the right hand side, as this is one of our most horrible braking zones on the lap, as I've gone and proven there. Running horribly deep there as the track falls away from you, and then down in towards turn 8, and then of course the infamous turn 9 on this lap as well. Is it going to be completely pinned? No, just below the throttle, and we still ran a little bit wide there, so I'm wondering if we're running a little bit of a lower downforce setup than I normally would. Brake at about the 50 metre bore. That was a tiny bit late there, but I reckon we could have probably got it slowed down a little bit better. Get the car back over to the left and then down into third gear through the hairpin, and then just ride the throttle on the way out. Like I said, penultimate corner, completely flat there. Avoid the sausage curb on the final corner, and then 6th gear down the 1, activate the DRS again, and that's going to be a lap of the Spanish Grand Prix there, and a 1:13.8 isn't too shabby either, as of course you've still got this monstrous run back down towards turn 1 there. I'm sure we'll see a few moves being made in towards that first corner this weekend as well there, but yeah, it doesn't feel ridiculously different. Obviously, like I said, most of the track would be pretty much unchanged. I guess the only way you could really sort of spice up a lot of the circuit is just by adding a bit more camber, I think, to some of these corners. But even corners like this, you know, where the track falls away from you, does make it a good, fun challenge as well there as we try and put the power down the other side. We're finding even more time, though, so perhaps an 11 or something like that might be good, as definitely avoid that sausage curb. That one will quite happily try and ruin your afternoon there, as turn 9 is definitely not flat in this car at the moment. But heading down in towards the final couple of corners then. Oh no! Just couldn't quite scrub the speed off in the way I wanted to there. But yeah, that was pretty interesting then here from Catalonia. Like I said, most of the track doesn't feel very different at all, but the final couple of corners don't feel ridiculous, especially when you kind of forget, you know, the profile of these final 2 turns are nothing similar to each other. You know, that penultimate corner actually doesn't drag you particularly close to the wall as soon as you would expect there, as that's going to be a 1:19.1. I think we just, need to try and be a bit more brave. I'm going to try and whack on a higher downforce setup as well, of course, because Spain, one of the lowest speed tracks on the calendar. I'm pretty certain the only reason it's remained on the F1 calendar for as long as it has is just because it serves as quite a good test bench ready for Monaco the weekend after. But yeah, we'll bolt on a fresh set of tyres then, put some more downforce on the car, and see if we can try and dip into those, maybe a 12, maybe an 11. We'll wait and see. It's always worrying to think about as well, you know, Spain's now been on the F1 calendar for over 30 years, consecutively every year. I think it is, you know, there are always talks when Alonso left that there might be talks of the Spanish Grand Prix going, but I think, you know, the rejuvenation, Carlos Sainz moving to Ferrari as well, I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. So I'm actually going to try and set myself up a little bit differently this time around, try and get a good run out of the final corner there. A bit slower on the way in, but a bit faster on the way out then. And let's try and go for a second attacking lap then. We've put slightly less fuel in the car. Like I said, I've upped the downforce levels as well. And we're really going to try and concentrate on this one. Make sure we get a good lap hooked up. As immediately, that's not the line through 1, and that's not the line through 2. This lap might pretty much be over before it's began. Sometimes I love putting myself under pressure on iRacing. Other times I just look like a fool. This channel is proudly sponsored by Bybit, the official crypto partner of Red Bull's Formula 1 team. I've been using their platform for my personal crypto savings over the last few months, and when they got in touch to support the channel, I was super excited. Currently, they're offering you guys a special new promo for the first 100 of you to deposit $10 or more onto the platform. You'll get another $10 free. Also, 5 lucky winners will get their initial deposit doubled up to $1,000. That means if you deposited $1,000 onto the platform using my codes below, you could be within a chance to get another $1,000 completely free. We've seen the landscape around crypto drastically change over the last couple of years, and I genuinely believe it holds an important place in our future. However, please be careful as always when trading, as you are liable to lose money. But if you're interested and you're 18 or older, click the link down below to get started and see why Red Bull
and myself, as well as thousands of others, trust Bybit as their crypto.
Right, we'll try that again then as we head down in towards the final couple of corners. Always seems weird that you're setting yourself up for another lap out of the hairpin. But really, yeah, this penultimate corner just sort of sets you up, make sure you know the balance is exactly where you want it. There's a bit of a blend on the way in and then slam on the throttle at the final corner. Of course, such a long run back down towards turn 1. But can we now try and put this thing down in towards the 11s? Let's try and get the lap nailed without being so aggressive over the outside curb there. Oh, you can actually attack the inside curb through turn 1 there. I don't know whether we just got a bit lucky with it, but yeah, apparently we got away with that one. So we try and head out of turn 3. Never want to lift out the throttle. And then up towards the top of the hill there, into turn 4. A little bit of a second guess myself, but we ride the throttle nice and early on the exit. A little bit of front lock in there. I love the fact, obviously, in cockpit cam, you can see the front lock in there. You can really try and modulate the throttle on the exit. As that's not the line through there, but it shouldn't cost us much because, of course, this corner isn't flat out. You still have to blend the throttle as we're still exploring through turn 9, and that is actually, this time around, going to be a slowdown penalty, so I'm not happy with that one. And that's going to put pay to another lap then here from Spain. These tracks all feel so much harder when you're on iRacing, but I'll have to go around for another installation lap, recharge the battery, and finally get a second flyer in? I'd like to believe so. Right, well, let's go again then here from Spain. I feel like most of this video is just going to be me saying that. We'll try a little bit of a wider run through the penultimate corner. I don't think it's going to obviously make much difference though, again, because of course we're just trying to set ourselves up. Now, if the final corner was completely flat, that might make things interesting, but 1 lap left worth of fuel then in the tank, so now it is all or nothing on this final run then here at the Spanish Grand Prix circuit in Barcelona. Let's try and get it nailed. Blender throttle on the way into turn 3 there. Just didn't quite get the car where I needed it on the entry, but hasn't ruined the lap entirely. Back in trying to wriggle free there. So much torque being pushed through those fat rear tyres, but there we go. That was the line I needed through there, taking way more curb. Dab of the brakes, just try and get the nose tipped in. And finally, we make it through turn 9 without any issues as well. Come on. Horrible run up the hill, though. Recover it on the exit, but not a good entry. As in towards the final couple of corners. Front tyres really starting to give up there. Oh, no, we've run out of fuel. Oh, no. Oh, it was always bound to happen there. I probably should have boxed right there, then. Look at that. Car's completely gone. Oh, what time was it going to be? A 118 still. I mean, yeah, considering we blended out the throttle throughout the final corner. I'm giving myself one more chance here. It's all or nothing at Barcelona. We are going to get a lap hooked up. If I can't do it on pretty much a normal circuit, how do I expect to get around the Nordschleife? Right, we'll really try to avoid getting any blemishes on the tyres and anything like this as we head back round then for our final attacking lap here from Barcelona. We've spent quite a few laps trying to get it all hooked up, but this circuit, you know, when you race it on F1, it doesn't feel that difficult. You know, when you come to iRacing, you forget just how brutal most tracks can be in a Formula 1 car. F1 2022 kind of gives off that impression a little bit more than F1 2021 has, but let's try and go then. One final push lap. We're really going to concentrate now as we mash the throttle at the final corner, activate the DRS, and we've now got the huge run back down towards turn 1. Let's try and get at least down into the 112s. Again, just having to blend the throttle through turn 3 there. That's not an off track. I'm not having that. We're keeping the lap going. I don't believe that was a fair off track. We definitely had 2 wheels inside the venue. Oh, come on. Right. One more chance, please. I mean, this is what happens when I don't race the Merc on iRacing for a couple of weeks. I kind of get lulled back into a sense of security from the F1 games, but iRacing, like I say, is a whole other kettle of fish, and this Merc completely feels like a different beast on this sim. Save the battery, though. I want to get one lap that really shows, what classic Spain can be all about on the F1 games. Of course, like I said, this is... Oh, we're not going to have enough fuel. Oh, I'm going to have to pit again. I've only got £3 worth of fuel. We're going to have to pit and go once more. Right, final attempt then. Actual final attempt this time around. We've got 2 laps worth left of fuel in the wagon. Let's try and get this lap in. Please, Matt. I beg. Sometimes it happens on iRacing, other times it doesn't, but what a fun challenge it's been coming back to classic Barcelona there at the final corner. DRS wide open once more. We've got our whole battery left, and let's just really now try and get at least the first couple of corners nice and tidy as well. I'm not willing to accept that off track. We might have taken a lot of curb, but I was so desperate to try and get completely flat through turn 3. But again, a bit like the last attempt, I'm not going to worry. Whoa. Dab the brake there, but we do get a nice tidy run out onto the back straight. Just a couple more corners to go, please. Yes! At the final corner we go. We finally got the lap hooked up, and it is only a 1:13.5 there. So I think that first lap was a whole lot better than I originally anticipated. But a 13.5 is not actually that much quicker than what the real Formula 1 drivers could do around here. I think pole over the last few years has only been sort of around, what, 14s to 15s? I might be slightly wrong there, but apparently, yeah, I'm nowhere near as good at Spain as even I kind of hoped I might be. But there we go then. That is a lap of the classic Barcelona layout. Obviously, if F1 removed the final chicane, I think we'd see a lot more errors and it would make things a whole lot more exciting. But if you guys have enjoyed this video, like I said in the intro, please do make sure to leave a like and get yourself subscribed. Check out my second channel as well if you want to see more sim racing content from me. Like I said, iRacing and plenty of Gran Turismo 7 content over there as well, if for whatever reason you want to see more of me on your screens. But that's going to do us though for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll be back very, very soon with more Formula 1 content.
None of these videos would be possible without the help of our channel members, so a massive thank you to all of the names you see on your screens currently for helping support the channel. You can join them by clicking the join button down below, and yeah, thank you once again to everyone that continues all the insane support on my work.